When you hear the name Rockefeller, you might picture the famous New York City landmark, the Rockefeller Center. You know, the one with the ice skating rink. You might even know Rockefeller was an influential American businessman that was also a huge philanthropist.
But if you do some research into Rockefeller, you will soon find that he wasn't always the wealthy philanthropist that he became later in life. In fact, one may even say that he made his riches by becoming a ruthless businessman who pushed out all competition to create his monopoly of oil. So how exactly did he do that?
In the mid-1800s, scientists developed kerosene for lighting lamps. Kerosene can be made from petroleum, commonly known as oil, which is a dark, thick liquid fossil fuel formed underground from plants or dead animal remains. For crude oil to be useful, it needed to be refined or purified. And oil refineries were rapidly being built to turn oil into fuel that would heat and light the homes of America. While America entered into a very costly and bloody civil war, oil business was prospering, and in 1863, Rockefeller joined Maurice Clark and Samuel Andrews in the Cleveland, Ohio oil refining business. By 1870, Rockefeller had bought out Clark, and the Standard Oil Company was officially incorporated.
Being a shrewd businessman, Rockefeller recognized from the very beginning the importance of eliminating competition and streamlining his business operations to drive down costs and maximize profits. The infamous Cleveland Massacre was a 3-month period in 1872 when Standard Oil Company acquired virtually all its competing oil refineries in Cleveland, Ohio. Rockefeller orchestrated secret handshake agreements with railroad companies securing favorable transport rates and access to oil supplies for Standard Oil. It was this leverage in supply and transport that drove Rockefeller's competitors out of business and allowed him to acquire 22 major competitors for a fraction of their value.
Rockefeller pioneered a movement in the late 19th century that followed the idea that bigger businesses were better businesses.
Rockefeller's Standard Oil grew into a multi-faced enterprise operating across state lines and internationally. In 1882, Rockefeller tied independent business units together into one giant interlocking operation and created the Standard Oil Trust. Standard Oil became the first and largest multinational corporation functioning as a conglomerate.
Other companies rushed to mimic Rockefeller's oil empire, and soon, trusts and monopolies dominated industries like sugar, meat, steel, and tobacco. Companies gained the power that allowed them to fix prices, exclude rivals, negotiate favorable contracts, and expand their market shares. Trusts grew insanely powerful and wealthy. By 1870, Standard Oil came to control almost 95% of the American oil industry. By 1904, just 318 trusts controlled 40% of the US manufacturing industry and boasted a combined wealth of $7 billion, which at the time was 7 times bigger than the US national debt.
With the Standard Oil Trust integrating all aspects of petroleum business from mining, refining, transporting, and finally to sales, the monopoly pushed out competitors. And without competitors, Standard Oil was able to get away with lowering the quality of oil being sold while increasing the prices at the expense of the consumers who had no other choices.
It seemed like the oil juggernaut was unstoppable. But little did Standard Oil know that they were near the end. The downfall of the most powerful trust in American history would be at the hands of an 18th century middle-class woman. Introducing Ida Tarbell, an editor of the McClears magazine, whom Rockefeller would later refer to as Miss Tarbell, that poisonous woman. From a young age, Tarbell was one of the many direct victims of Standard Oil's monopolistic practices. Tarbell's father, Franklin Tarbell, had his oil refinery enterprise incur substantial losses due to the overwhelming dominance of Standard Oil in the industry. She was motivated to confront and dismantle the colossal trust that had ruined her father and other countless lives because of their monopolistic practices.
Tarbell's staggering 19-part investigative series titled The History of Standard Oil, published in 1904, reached millions of readers fueling antitrust settlement nationwide and helped push the federal government to take action against Standard Oil. In 1911, Attorney General Watson, using the Sherman Antitrust Law, sued Standard Oil in the federal court case known as Standard Oil Co. of New Jersey versus United States.
The Sherman Antitrust Act was passed in 1890. Its original draft contained many flaws that weren't apparent until its attempted usage against Standard Oil. The law was limited in that it was only applicable at the federal level and only deemed trusts that had restricted trade in violation. It was loosely worded, failing to define critical terms like trust, combination, conspiracy, and monopoly. This explains why Standard Oil remained a monopoly, despite being sued on 33 different occasions prior to the Standard Oil Co. of New Jersey versus United States court case that would result in its eventual dissolution. These 33 lawsuits were all bound under state antitrust laws and could not bring down Rockefeller's oil empire, which spanned across several states.
In 1911, the Supreme Court found Rockefeller's Standard Oil Trust in violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act. The dissolution of the largest company in the United States marked a crucial turning point in antitrust history, setting the groundwork for the modern-day American judicial system's treatment of antitrust actions.